read the title of a fund and it has those words in it, what does it actually mean? If it says growth.
It means you actually have to read not necessarily the whole prospectus, but at least a summary to find out whether the fund is actually investing the way that you feel like it should be, and also in the sector that you feel it should be.
Exactly. And then the last two articles deal with vehicle ownership. How can you lower the cost of owning a vehicle? And also, is a vehicle subscription service in your future? So this is a cool new concept where it's almost like you can rent a car on a weekly, monthly, or annual basis, and it's almost one step above leasing because you don't even pay for maintenance, repairs, things of that nature. You're literally just borrowing the car. It's almost as if you are renting the car, but it's a share program, so they bring down the cost of a rental.
I'm going to have to check that out. I want to do the numbers.
Yeah,
I mean, for me, it's a numbers thing because I know leasing to me has always made more sense than purchasing, but this may be the next level up. I like that idea. We'll have to find out who's doing that.
That's
here in the
right.
city, which is kind of cool. Again, our phone lines are open. We'd love to hear from you. 969-KTRS. Star KTRS from your cell phones or 1-888-550-KTRS. Bunch of things to talk about this morning. I thought what would be nice is we're going to start a series over the next 3 weeks. Because in working with folks that would like to retire or are already retired, we have found that over the years there really are truly three essential game plans. Not just one game plan, but really there's three game plans for retirement. These are things that we're doing, we're looking at, and for those folks that work with us, whether it's in coaching sessions or they actually become clients, these are the three primary areas that we're looking at. And I like to call them a game plan. Like the Super Bowl. There are basically, there's going to be an offensive game plan, a defensive game plan, and usually a game plan for special teams. So we're going to look at this in the same way. And frankly, I think they really kind of mirror each other. The first one, and maybe the one we speak about the most, or the least possibly on the show, is the financial game plan, which is creating a game plan to replace a portion of your income, because that's what happens in retirement. We're looking at sources of income. We're looking at investment income needed to be generated in many cases. We're looking at pension elections, all kinds of different things. But actually, how do we put together that game plan so that you can have the cash flow you need so you can do all the things that you want to do in retirement?
That's right.
And also doing it in such a way so that it's going to pass, that it will continue for as long as you're alive. And as well, if you do have a significant other or spouse, for their life too, right?
Right. Then.
What's the second game plan?
Health care.
Big one.
It's a big one. First, it's having Brian help you transition or deciding when to make the transition from group health insurance to individual, COBRA, or Medicare coverage. Then helping manage those costs over time, determining what the best plan is, and then making sure it stays the best option for you. And then also considering long-term care expenses.
Right. Those things that insurance doesn't cover, Medicare doesn't cover. And really testing your game plan to say, if I'm not just ill, but I'm chronically ill, will I have the assets sufficient? How will I line them up to deal with these expenses? Is insurance an option that should be done or not, right?
That's right. The final game plan is survivor planning. So when one spouse passes away, also when the second spouse passes away.
Or significant other.
How do we pass those assets between the spouses or partners and then on to beneficiaries?
Right, whether it's children or grandchildren, whether you're taking care of children or grandchildren, whoever.
Or you want to take care of them.
And do you have folks and frankly, we do have folks that are single, or they're married and they don't have any children, which is how do we then pass this on to churches, charities, whoever it might be, without Uncle Sam and a tax court taking a big bite out of their money.
Right, also that could be a combination of all of those things.
Right.
You are charitable, but you also have beneficiaries you specifically want to designate, so... We have a lot of calls. Line 1 has Sue.
Sue, good morning.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking. My daughter hasn't asked me yet this morning, but it's cool.
It's a terrible life he leads.
Question regarding HSAs for active employees. You mentioned before that if you're working and you are Medicare eligible to not enroll in Medicare because it disqualifies you from contributing or contributing to an HSA. Is it true, though, when you leave employment and you then enroll in Medicare, there has to be a 6-month window from when you made your last contribution into that HSA before you can enroll in Medicare, or something becomes disqualified?
So the way that it works is there is a 6-month window from the amount of contribution. So over a 12-month period, you can contribute a certain amount. If you contribute within the 6-month period before you enroll in Medicare, those contributions are no longer tax deductible. You don't disqualify yourself from anything except for you lost the tax deductibility of those last contributions. So, for example, if you are enrolling in Medicare in July, you might want to make all your contributions for the year in January, and then you're fine.
Okay, understand. And how difficult is it for someone to, if they've already enrolled in Medicare Part A and they're still working and now they want to contribute into an HSA, to de-enroll from Medicare Part A?
They won't allow it.
Oh, they won't. Okay.
Unfortunately, that's the only. With Medicare Part B, you can disenroll, but with Medicare Part A, once you have it, you're branded for life. They won't let you. They won't give it back because you don't have to pay for it. That's the problem.
Got it. Okay, great.
Thank you so much. We really do appreciate your calls. And looks like we have Dave online too. Dave, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Well, welcome to you guys. And
Thank you.
I tell you, I get your newsletter. I've been getting it for several months. And I recommend it to anybody. I mean, it's a great format. It's easy to follow. You always have good information on there. My wife turned 64 in November, and I turned 62 this past October. And so we're, in that range where we're starting to think about, retirement and Social Security and stuff. What I wanted to find out, we are going to get in touch with you to set up a meeting in the near future to discuss everything. What I wanted to find out is either online on your website, or do you have something that can be sent out, like a list of information that we should gather up to bring with us before we meet with you?
Yes, we do, Dave. And what happens is once you call in to our office for a coaching session, our assistant Gail, who also happens to be our appointment setter, she'll send that information out to you. It'll really include a few things. Number one is we're going to ask you to bring in a copy of your will, a copy of your last tax return, a copy of all your investment statements. If there are any loan agreements that you want to us to take a look at, life insurance policies, annuity contracts, pension statements, etc., so that we can get a really good look at where you are financially. We can really be able to put the pieces together. And then, as you know, because you've been listening for some time, that what we do is we play This Is Your Life on our big 6x8 foot whiteboard. And we'll lay out all the options, and hopefully by the time you leave, you'll have a whole lot more clarity than when you came in to visit.
Before we come in?
Sorry, say that again, Dave?
We do not have a will set up at this point.
That's okay.
So do we have to do that first?
Oh, my gosh, no. The list of documents is just, if you have it, please bring it. It is not, it's not all-inclusive, because if you have things you want us to see that we didn't make a list of, please bring them. If you don't have items on the list, you don't have to create them for us.
No, you don't. And what will happen is that I'm sure that when we visit, we'll be having a discussion about why a living will, is something that's very important, and naturally, we'll be in a situation where we can make references to competent local attorneys if you need that as well. But everybody needs a will. Let's put it, anyone who's actually retiring and has assets, you do need a will, and there are reasons to do that. But keep on listening.
We appreciate it.
And we'd love to see you when you're ready.
Also, I would like to thank you for sponsoring the music show on Saturday nights. It's a good variety of music. It's very pleasant to listen to.
Fabulous. So again, we thank you so much, and we appreciate your support. And thanks for making some nice comments about the newsletter.
Which owner of KTRS paid Dave to call
it? What a fantastic call.
That was
that was a good one.
That was my third cousin, Dave. Max has been holding on line 3. Max, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call.
You're very welcome.
I have a question about a Social Security